Here we are on Clothesline, the show where we wring them clean, string them up and put them to dry on the clothesline. It's World Cup time once again and India beat Pakistan once again. This was the reaction in India.
India ke liye lungi dan, Dhoni ke liye lungi dan. Salaiva.
If his joy was that extreme, what happened in Pakistan? Okay, I know if you're brought up well, you're taught not to laugh at others' misfortune. It's in bad taste. But the phrase bad taste leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It reminds me of a finishing school etiquette ma'am sniffing and saying, poor taste. But there's nothing more boring than good taste. Now, I'll try to keep the Schadenfreude in control, but there was nothing funnier than what happened after we beat Pakistan in cricket. हम जले में नमक नहीं छिड़कना चाहते, पर अगर वो अपने ऊपर खुद ही छिड़क रहे हैं, तो हम कौन है रोकने वाले? Their first job, kill the messenger, literally.
गुस्से का इजहार कर रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान क्यों हारा, पाकिस्तान को जीतना चाहिए था क्योंकि दिल बर्दाश्ता हो गए हैं ये शायकीन क्रिकेट के दीवाने जो सुबह सवेरे आज इतवार का दिन था.
But are they really that angry? If you're angry and you smash your television, that makes sense. But how angry are you when you carry your television outside and politely wait for television cameras to get shots of you holding the television first? Look at this guy. Either he's not angry or he's just glad he has an excuse to buy a new television set. Look at that TV. Can you blame him? Also, why smash that bike?
Maybe somebody was announcing the scores on the bike when there was no TV.
If I was pissed off that my team lost, I'd be even more pissed if I had to walk home. But Pakistan to drama queen का देश है, and I'm not talking about the women. हर पहल पर चाहे politics हो तो drama, weeping and screaming politicians. Ordinary people, आम आदमी तो drama है. Like the sweetheart of a cab driver sobbing over the state of his nation.
मुझे आज इस वक्त इतना रोना आ रहा है अपने मुल्क के ऊपर, अपने मिनिस्टर्स के ऊपर कि वो अवाम के खून पसीने की कमाई से क्या कर रहे हैं. हमारे मुल्क के वजीर सफीर हमारी कौम का लहू चूस रही बेगैरत.
You think our Indian anchors are drama queens? Arnab and company aren't a patch on Pakistani anchors. Look at this one. It's not just their anchors. Look at their introductions to a news segment. It's unbelievable.
भारत फिर से जीत गया और पाकिस्तान का इंतजार जारी है. पहले आपको एक नज़्म हम सुनाना चाहते हैं और उसके बाद बात को हम आगे बढ़ाते हैं.
कोई वादा निभाना हो, उसे आवाज देनी हो, उसे वापस बुलाना हो, मदद करनी हो उसकी, यार की ढारस बंधाना हो, हमेशा देर कर देता हूँ मैं.
हमेशा देर कर देता हूँ. बाबर साहब, हमेशा हम देर कर देते हैं और पाकिस्तान में खासतौर पे सिलेक्शन में सियासत. आप क्रिकेट टीम से लेके गवर्नर तक देख लें, हर जगह सियासत ही सियासत.
In Pakistan, लव हो तो दर्द ही दर्द, कोई डिस्को नहीं, डिस्को नॉट अलाउड, दर्द ही दर्द. कभी आपने कोई गजल सुनी है जब उसको लड़की मिल भी गई? मैं पूछती हूँ, गजल में उनको लड़की क्यों नहीं मिलती? Why not celebrate love instead of mourning all the time?
मैं जिन शोलों में जलता था, सारे तुम भी नहीं समझे. मेरा दिल मुख्तलिफ था, मुख्तलिफ सदमात थे मेरे.
साडे पंजाबी मुंडे कुड़ी मिले या ना मिले, गांदे जरूर है ते कुड़ी मिल गए. सिरा टॉप.
चंडीगढ़ मिल गई सी ते यहीं दिल्ली दी, चंडीगढ़ मिल गई सी ते यहीं दिल्ली दी.
और क्रिकेट, इन्ना ड्रामा, इन्ना खौफ, इन्ना गुस्सा, इन्ना रोना, ड्रामा ही ड्रामा. चेक दिस पीपल आउट.
बहुत ही गलत किया और हम इनसे बहुत ज्यादा एक्सपेक्ट किया हुआ था और आज के बाद तो हम क्रिकेट ही नहीं देखेंगे. ये तो आंसुओं से रो रही है, मेरा दिल रो रहा है. बहुत उम्मीदें लगाई थी पाकिस्तान की टीम से, लेकिन उन्होंने सारी उम्मीदें तोड़ दी हमारी.
आतिशबाजी का प्रोग्राम किया था, पटाखों वगैरह का लेके आए थे, पटाखे वगैरह फाड़ने के लिए। बस अब यही है, अब जाके वापसी रख देंगे घर पे।
उम्र पिघली मोम सी मेरी, ऐसी भी क्या जिद है तेरी, करांगे अब दीदारे मौका 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 ओ रब्बा।
कब फोड़ेंगे यार?
Guys, it's just a game. But in the subcontinent, cricket's a religion. Even if you already have one, just listen to this Pakistani mullah.
हाय किस बात पे दुख रहे, क्रिकेट हार गए। हाय मैं चंद दिन पहले बहुत रोया। हाय जब खून से लिखी जाएगी ये तारीख। हाय पाकिस्तान हार गए। हम बाजी हारे हैं, ईमान की बाजी हार गए, हया की बाजी हार गए, तक़वे की बाजी हार गए। ये वो शिकस्त है जो पहले 1200 साल कभी ना हुई थी। ये वो शिकस्त है जो कभी नहीं हुई थी। चंगेज और हलाकों ने खोपड़ियों के मीनार तो बना दिए, पर हमारा दीन हमसे न ले सका, हमारा ईमान हमसे न ले सका। लेकिन आज हमारा ईमान चला।
If things were bad in the mosque, newsrooms weren't much better. Like this one, where things start off well.
आप लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा खेला और आपके लिए ये मेरी तरफ से फूल का तोहफा है। ये हमारी तरफ से आप छम कबूल फरमाएं जी। ये ले, ये लीजिए।
शुक्रिया। क्या मिठास है।
Wow, I didn't know cameras could do that. In that case, Indian panelists, let's celebrate the win. Atal Vasan, have a sip. Cheers. As for you, Pakistan, I've rolled you something nice for your sorrows. Smoke the peace pipe, baby. But the good vibes didn't last very long.
एक मेरी बात सुनो, किसी के ऊपर पर्सनल ऐसे कमेंट नहीं करने चाहिए। हंसी मजाक में बात चलती है, अच्छी है। अगर पर्सनल कमेंट मैं भी पुरानी इतिहास निकालना शुरू करूं और बात करूंगा तो अच्छा नहीं लगेगा।
Now that got ugly fast. But that wasn't the only thing on Pakistani news that was both fast and ugly.
यार इतना गंदा 150, चलो 250 पे आउट हो जाओ, कोई 260 पे आउट हो जाओ, कोई मेहनत करके आउट हो जाओ। ये बड़ी ही बकवास किस्म की बैटिंग लाइनअप है। ना इनके पास टेक्निक है, ना ही टैलेंट है इनके पास। पहली बात तो ये प्लीज अपने ज़हनों से निकाल दे, टैलेंटेड नहीं है ये, टैलेंटेड नहीं है।
But in the end, the Pakistanis did eventually calm down. And by calm down, we mean they did this.
भारत ने पाकिस्तानी स्पिनर सईद अजमल का टेस्ट जो कि भारत में हुआ था क्लियर कराने के लिए पाकिस्तान को एक ऑफर दी थी कि अगर वो 15 फरवरी का मैच भारत से हार जाए तो वो सईद अजमल का टेस्ट क्लियर करा देगा। और पाकिस्तान ने ये ऑफर कबूल कर ली, जिसके बाद सईद अजमल का टेस्ट क्लियर करवा दिया गया।
Actually, the real conspiracy is that Pakistan won. We just took the blue pill.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe.
Seriously though, life in Pakistan is like a Bollywood drama. Action है,
से का इजहार कर रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान क्यों हारा।
Emotion है,
हाय किस बात पे दुख रहे, क्रिकेट हार गए।
Conspiracy है।
भारत ने पाकिस्तानी स्पिनर सईद अजमल का टेस्ट क्लियर कराने के लिए पाकिस्तान को एक ऑफर दी थी।
The only difference between Bollywood and Pakistan is that when we don't like a Bollywood performance, we throw eggs at performers. But in Pakistan,
मोइन खान का गंदे अंडों से इस्तकबाल करेंगे, ये कहना है मुजाहिरीन का। आप ये मनासिर देख रहे हैं इस वक्त, जो एहतजाज कर रहे हैं नौजवान अपने ही सर पर ये अंडे फोड़ रहे हैं।
It's no wonder that when the entire country works like a cheesy Bollywood movie, that Pakistani news anchors bring that same cheesiness to news analysis.
पाकिस्तान और यूएसए जो है वो पुराने दोस्त हैं, जैसे बिल्कुल राहुल और अंजलि थे, वो थे बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स।
Best friends, huh? What does that make India?
उसके बाद आ जाती हैं टीना, राहुल और टीना की दोस्ती हो जाती है और मोहब्बत शुरू हो जाती है। जैसे मोदी साहब ने मैडिसन स्क्वायर गार्डन में खड़े होकर दोस्ती का ऐलान किया था।
Okay, so Tina's India. What about the other characters?
तो हमेशा एक वालिद साहब होते हैं, वो हो गया सऊदी अरेबिया। सऊदी अरेबिया सबके अब्बा हैं, इवेंचुअली बच्चों का मामू बन जाता है। वो बच्चों का मामू जो है वो है चाइना।
Wait, doesn't Tina die in the end?
टीना मर जाएगी तो जाहिर है। तो हम ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि भारत और अमेरिका का जो अफेयर है वो भी आर्जी है, और जो पाकिस्तान और अमेरिका का, जैसे मारिया ने कहा था कि
दिल खुश कर देता है।
Of course, because nothing screams true love like drone strikes. Thank you to Pramod Bhuvankar for that spot. The Indian government needs to allow Pakistani channels to be beamed into India because we're missing all the fun. It isn't just World Cup time, it's also budget time, and NDTV decided to use an image that truly captured the excitement of the budget session. Mallikarjun Kharge asleep in Parliament. But before the budget itself was the railways budget, and that can only mean one thing for news. Panel discussions made up of panelists who've probably never used the railways. But it wasn't just that. Take a look at this.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Amen. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men.
Seems like the ladies missed the panelist gravy train. In case you're wondering why the studios were full of only men discussing the budget, ladies तो घर पे kitchen, ration, sabzi, धोबी वगैरह वगैरह का budget बना रही होंगी ना. But you know where women do find mention? Here.
During the ongoing Aero India show, where two Red Bull planes came very, very close to each other in what could have been a major accident.
Didn't catch any mention of a woman? That's okay, because NDTV saved that for the text under the video, and I quote, "Two planes scraped each other today during a flight display at the aerospace show in Bengaluru. The planes landed safely and nobody was injured. One of the planes was being flown by a woman pilot." Flying planes is not for women. Frying pans are. Well done, NDTV. You've really put that story in perspective. Thank you, Nancy Rawat, for that spot. This near collision was dramatic and the footage makes that very clear. But in today's fiercely competitive world of news, there's nothing that can't be made even more dramatic.
So at this instant, when you see is that one aircraft seems to be losing altitude.
What the?
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
There was also the petroleum and natural gas document leaks that led to the arrest of 5 petroleum company executives from Reliance Industries, SR, Reliance ADAG, Cairns and Jubilant Energy. But if you were watching a Network 18 channel, you wouldn't know Reliance Industries was involved, because that's who owns Network 18. And this is how it works in newsrooms. If anyone is related to the owner, they will not be written about, period. Because when corporates fund your media, corporate interest is served. When the public funds media, the public is served. In a democracy, the media is supposed to be the watchdog. The watchdog is supposed to be independent. But here we find some watchdogs are subservient to their masters. The master provides for your survival. For some people, it is the government, for some it's ads, and for some it's big industrialists. For News Laundry, it's you. Will you pay to keep news free? While Network 18 left out company names to avoid bad publicity for their board, DNA followed the trend by doing these glowing stories about their owners. On February 7th, DNA carried this fantastic report on Zee Chairman Subhash Chandra's interactions with students. Ironically, they even quote him saying, in quotes, "The power of media can be used to lift the society so that clarity on right practices is brought about." Irony just cancelled its DNA subscription. Now, after that, the other executives at Zee felt neglected. So 2 weeks later, DNA put out this piece on Puneet Goenka, the managing director and CEO of Zee Entertainment. That's like if we put out articles like these. Now, we at News Laundry would never do that. We want to make news. Just kidding, just kidding. We know you hate ads, so we'll spare you another. The petroleum and natural gas leaks weren't the only leaks recently. There were also the SR leaks, and while we at News Laundry trash journalists as much as netas, we have to say this. When journalists were caught taking favors that were substantial or not, based on your point of view, heads rolled. Heck, resignations were handed in for taxi rides. But no such luck for yacht rides. So while we do point fingers at our own biradri, we will say this: they are held accountable, while the netas are rewarded for their deeds.
The noose seems to be tightening around Law Minister Salman Khurshid as evidence piles up of a trust run by Khurshid and his wife, depriving physically challenged people in Uttar Pradesh of their due.
And several changes there in Team Manmohan. Salman Khurshid will now be the External Affairs Minister, taking over from S.M. Krishna.
Another issue that dominated the news was the land ordinance, or rather the opposition to the land ordinance. And if January brought us the most awaited film of the year, February brought us the most awaited sequel in years.
From the makers of the critically acclaimed India Against Corruption movement comes the sequel
that's been years in the making. Anna's back, but this time there'll be food. When others stand for justice, he will sit.
But like Jaws and Superman, this sequel was also a flop. Just as Anna made his comeback, another Gandhian crusader for India's poor mysteriously disappeared.
कांग्रेस महासचिव राहुल गांधी के छुट्टी पर जाने की खबर है। राहुल गांधी कब से कब तक छुट्टी पर गए हैं, ये साफ नहीं है।
While everyone tried to solve the mystery of his disappearance, a Congress leader put out these pictures of Rahul allegedly camping out in Uttarakhand, which every news channel ran as breaking news until the Congress party denied them and everyone stopped running it. But NewsX saw an opportunity.
Immediately after NewsX carried Sharma's claim, several congressmen began coming out and questioning their own colleague. In fact, the morning was subsequently devoted by various Congress MPs and spokespersons denying the veracity of Sharma's claims, effectively detracting from the Congress's main project, which was to take on the government over the bill.
Wait a minute. You're bragging about running images that turned out to be false because it got the Congress party to say they were false and distracted them from focusing on more important matters? Great job, guys. The greatest spin wizards aren't at the World Cup. They're at NewsX. We also had Nitish Kumar do this.
पूरे बिहार वासियों से मैं क्षमा मांगता हूं कि भाई मुझसे गलती हुई, माफ कर दीजिए.
Copying Kejriwal is a dangerous move, Nitish. Still, the best person at handling a bad situation is our Prime Minister himself, Narendra Modi, who auctioned his controversial personalized pinstripe suit for charity. If that's not a great way to turn a bad situation into a good one, I don't know what is. Modi is a master at handling uncomfortable situations, and they don't get much more uncomfortable than what happened when he attended Mulayam Singh's grandnephew's pre-wedding bash in Sci-Fi. Girls, 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 your Prime Minister just demonstrated how to deal with those annoying boys trying to escape the friend zone by grabbing your hand.
The Namo Guide to Keeping Boys in the Friend Zone. Step 1. When the boy tries to hold your hand, say namaste to your friends and goodbye to the creep. If he still hasn't given up, try step 2. Wave. It doesn't matter to who, just wave. If that attracts more creeps, go back to step 1.
Now, Bollywood reporting isn't rocket science, but if you're going to try to make it newsy, can you at least stick to that? Here's NDTV's newsy report on Kareena Kapoor's reaction to the AIB roast.
Hello and welcome to Night Out, where Kareena Kapoor Khan has provided us with a fresh perspective on AIB.
So let's ask Kareena Kapoor Khan, what's her indulgence?
The classic Belgian chocolate Magnum ice cream.
Feel free to hit us with the news anytime now, guys. We're waiting.
Who's the chocolate in your life?
I have a few gems and chocolates in my life.
Still waiting.
Who's the nut in your life?
Well, okay, then of course there's only one that can drive me nuts, and that's my husband.
NDTV, you do realize you could have just played a commercial for the damn ice cream instead of pretending this was news, right? Speaking of commercials, this week's Fakwa goes to two geniuses in the ad space. The first Fakwa goes to Tata Motors for this ad for their truck racing event. Because what we need in a country with the highest road accident fatalities in the world is trucks racing each other. What the fuck were you thinking? And the second Fakwa goes to Panasonic phones for this stupid ad.
Hanging around, all you gotta do is blink. Oh, wink.
Because as we all know, there just aren't enough creepy, non-consensual photographs and videos being taken of unsuspecting girls. For that 0.01% of you who don't know how it's done, get a Panasonic phone and join the fun.
All you gotta do is blink.
And if you haven't been made famous as one of the creepy men arrested for clicking photographs of unsuspecting girls, the government of India has a novel scheme to make you famous. They plan to name and shame people who get caught speeding. Dear government of India, maybe you live on another planet, but this is India, where the most ghisa-pita way men impress each other is by speeding. And in fact, one of the most successful film franchises ever is The Fast and the Furious. But in India, we'll make you the fast and the famous. Do you think people will be shamed by it? No, they'll fight to get on it. Dumbos. Finally, we turn our attention overseas, where Jihadi John, one of the executioners in the ISIS videos, has been identified, and CNN have the shocking truth about his identity.
We have to sort of read into these sort of briefings what we do, but
Cheeky propaganda or genuine mistake is anyone's guess. And if you think that's bad, they decided to step things up, that is CNN, with an interview of a Lama, and I don't mean the Dalai Lama. Watch.
Drama, I want you to meet my friend Pierre. He is a celebrity Lama, and he joins me now along with Lama handler Susan Gural. I don't want to make any false moves here.
And you thought Arnab's panelists were bad? We also had our caption contest, and this week's winner is Venkat. Congratulations, Venkat, and keep the submissions coming. Remember to participate in our next caption contest to get your name on the next episode of Clothesline. Well, that's a wrap for the week. If you saw any moments from journalism that made you go, oh wow, or oh crap, write into us or tweet to us. Subscribe to our newsletter and support our I Pay to Keep News Free campaign. We are the change. You are the change, for better or worse. Never do nothing. Stay connected, stay online. If you enjoyed that, click up here to support us and down here to subscribe. Be sure to check out our older episodes and the other stuff we do, like Can You Take It, I Agree, panel discussions, comics and animations, and much, much more.